Hello， 大家好，我係 Professor 李小良，我係嶺南大學文化研究系嘅一個老師。我哋文化研究其實咧都係一啲即係藉住從日常生活啦所接觸嘅東西，包括係媒體啦、普及文化啦，甚至係一啲嘅生活性嘅一啲嘅課題咧，去思考一啲更加大嘅啲議題，包括文化啦、社會啦、政治啦，甚至經濟嘅啲課題嘅。而我哋嘅課程嘅特色咧，就係不斷係去邀請一啲唔同嘅一啲業界嘅人士啦嚇，甚至係一啲嘅即係知名啲嘅人士咧，去進入我哋嘅課堂裏邊咧，係作出佢哋嘅分享。而我哋咧即將會係推出一系列嘅一啲嘅短片咧，係記錄一啲呢啲嘅所謂客席嘅分享咧，係希望可以令大家更加明白我哋嗰個課程嘅宗旨啦，以及係我哋一啲嘅課堂嘅內容，使到咧大家係即使未係去參與我哋嘅課堂咧，都可以更加了解我哋嗰個關注同埋我哋一啲嘅興趣嘅嚇。咁或者你哋都可以係去 follow 我哋嗰個社交媒體嘅網站啦嚇，係更加了解我哋呢個即係學士嘅課程嚇，同埋我哋一啲嘅即係科目嘅嚇。咁請大家去 enjoy。
What is the relationship between new media representations and gender? How can we understand gender and sexual politics in everyday media practices? What are the variant notions of gender and sexuality in diverse Asian societies? This course will draw upon theoretical strands in cultural studies, gender and sexuality studies, media and communication, history, queer studies and sociology as critical tools to understand the production and distribution of gendered messages within media texts. Through a close reading of cultural representations, students will learn to analyze the meanings behind media representations on heterosexuality and non-normative sexualities. Students will not only be learning the key theoretical approaches and emerging debates in the field of media, gender and sexuality studies, but rather they will contribute by coming up with new interpretations of media, representations and generating new content in social media during the course.
Form of digestible, tangible material media, for me at least. And zines love bookstores, CD shops and galleries. So it's like, zines also sometimes insist on physical space because you're trading them through the mail or through the shops. And like, even though you can technically maybe reach less people, maybe the impact you have is a little bit more sentimental, significant. And the next photo we have in our slideshow is something that Zine Coop did at Hapse, Form Society in Sumsui Bowl, which was like a big, like, what is zine kind of showcase. So you can see even from the table, there's like a lot of different types of designs and illustrations and artistic like approaches that people in Hong Kong and around the world come up with for zines.
And the thing is, making zine doesn't require to have a special like skills. Although many of our like zinester friends, they are designers or artists or writers, but you don't necessarily have all these skills. I mean, if you like to take pictures with your phones, or you like to write poetry, or or just some notes from your daily life, you could use these material as your for your content of making zine.
And Beatrix kind of and the Zine Cube team kind of devised this sort of like, what would we call this? Like a zine cone pyramid that is like basically showing the circles of influence around zine making that are like, this is not hierarchical. It's not like the top is better than the bottom. It's more just like trying to like spatially organize like the different reach of different zines. So Beatrix has actually given some examples across the pyramid.
So this cone comes from me and my friends who are part of the zine group and a group of zinesters. And so we have, as same as Queries Library, we first have start with our collection, and then we all gather our collection into one. So there was one day we were invited to an exhibition to do a showcase of all the zines we have. like basically the scene collection
in Macau.
And so this gives us a very good opportunity of looking back of looking at all of our material. Okay, what are all these scenes about? Like, why we collect them and what are all these contents? Like, why people make scenes? So we try to categorize them and look at each of it, and then try to make division of, okay, this is something maybe from the content, from looking into the content, that some people, they make scenes of because they want it, or they try to make their own, try to tell their own stories. Like, for instance, this one, a scenester called Cha, and then she said she's a pretty not confident person, and then not like she often have this fail experience in her daily life. So this is just a very simple idea and a reason for her to make a scene about fail, in general. Like, it doesn't have to be real or not, but just an experience, like how she looked into from her own experience and make it as a scene. So we start with self, because we make scenes from ourselves, like from our own perspective of telling our own stories. And next one, so there you can see there are like some between self, community, and global. So there it's a direction of looking from yourself and to a broader area of people, like reach out to more broader sense of surroundings. So between these different levels, there are plus. So what does it mean? It's something between yourself and community. So before the community, you probably interact with friends or your small your community that you belongs to. So this is something you started to open up more stories, stepping out from yourself, but still telling stories about your small circles. And then community. So we consider that community is like a different tribe of stories that you wanted to tell to or share the experiences different people. So we think of this category, it could apply to LGBTQ community. That, for instance, we had collected one of our collection is Feng Lao is a zine that had published made that first published released in 2018.
I think it was 19 at the Queer Culture and Literary Festival.
So and they're still making the second one. And Kaitlin, you want to tell a little bit of the Feng Lao?
The founders, Kayla and Erica, really wanted there to be a kind of feminist response to questions of gender and sexuality in Hong Kong. I guess namely because on some level they felt that a lot of the public dialogue about queerness in Cantonese and Hong Kong focused on men. So they wanted to add also a broader range of experiences from people who are transgender and women. And it sort of feels like a much needed kind of different voice, because I think that it's nice to just have a more intersectional feminist response to the idea of queerness in Hong Kong, because I guess the media narrative about it is also very much focused on marriage, which is really important, but also they wanted to talk about things to do with like personal aesthetics and identity and sexuality and kind of like visual culture. So I quite like this magazine because it's very designed and it's very like artistically thought out. It doesn't feel like information so much as like an expression. So that's kind of rare in magazines, I guess. Yeah.
And basically the two editor and founder, they support, like financially support by themselves, and so the next one, after they sold the first issues, like sold out, I think they were printed like, because it's a small print of a small number of prints, it was about 300 in 300, so they run out pretty fast, in mostly circulated in the queer community, and also there are small numbers circulated to Taiwan and some Asian countries. And so the next one they're going to they did fundraising for the second issue, and hopefully it will be releasing soon in this year. Yeah, from what they told. And yeah, and so so for Curious Library, besides we did the mobile library, we also try to make our own scenes. And this one you're looking at is it's called Curious Lexicon. It's not intentionally we wanted to make a zine at first, but it is a platform. It's a public engaged platform that we will share the link later in our presentation, that everyone could go up to share with us your words that which related with your queer experiences, either you have or your friends or you heard, or you like all kinds of different sources you get, and just share with us. And so from this like quite a huge data bank of collecting all the words we have, we pick up just a few of them and make it out as a zine. And we got this our friend Tiff Chen to
they did the illustrations.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It was very creative response. So it was nice to invite someone to respond to what these words might be meaning to them. Yeah. Should we skip this one, you think? In the zine pyramid?
Yeah, sure. Well, let's go ahead with our own.
Yeah. So Community Plus, you want to talk a little bit about how the zine relates to that? I like the zine, it's cool.
Yeah, so community is when we look at the zine collection, the scenes we have, there are quite a few of them are looking at the living surroundings or from the urban environment. And we especially think that this is how, like, using photography or drawing, illustrations or writing, that many people come up when they have spending long enough time in the neighborhood and interacting with the surroundings of, like, maybe where you work, or that you have enough of observation. And so this is
so creative. This is the alphabet, right?
Yeah, there's an alphabet collection from one of the scenes from Bangkok. So from different observations, like the angle that he got, and you could see like almost like the alphabet shape. Yeah, it's quite a nice collection of words.